Welcome to the Tech Tarik Show, Lawyer.net's only official podcast. This week is a bit different for us because Pang and Andrew are all the way in Barcelona covering Mobile World Congress. So what we're going to do is we're going to call them over there. It's at the time recording, it's about lunchtime on their end. They've taken a break from walking around the show floor. So let's not waste any time and go to the call. So we're here with Andrew and Pang, who are in Barcelona at Mobile World Congress 2017. How are you guys doing?
It's pretty cold. Haven't had much sleep,
Yeah,
but so far so good.
quite cool.
Yeah, 5 minutes ago when we were talking to set this up, they sound really lively. So this is all an act. Don't believe them.
Okay.
Yes.
No, Andrew's just excited that he saw his favorite YouTuber. So
Hey, come on, man. It's a pretty good goal.
Sure. Okay.
Anyway,
So we've got limited amount of time with you guys today because you're still walking the show floor.
yes,
So let's get to it. You guys want to start with Sony, and not particularly the Sony phones, but Sony non-smartphones.
yeah, I think we can start with that. I don't know, Andrew, have you actually seen this stuff? Because I went over there like a couple of days ago, and basically we sat down in an interview with the chief marketing guy for global operations, and he was giving this rundown of what Sony has been doing. And I think it's really cool because like the focus wasn't so much on the products that they're actually showing, it's also on the prototypes, the concepts that they are kind of pushing. So I think the best example for this is actually in the Xperia Touch, the touch screen thing that turns any kind of any surface into a touch screen, right?
That's the projector thing,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, the projector thing, sorry.
So is it as
Wow,
cool as
actually-
it looks?
Yes, it is. It really is. So the idea behind the name is actually Xperia Touch. The idea behind it was that when they showed this concept to people, and they were saying that, oh, this is a touch-sensitive projector. So when you see a projector, it's like, oh, it is what it is. It's a projector, right? And then when they actually make their first touch or the first gesture onto that projected screen, they were like, whoa, this is a touch screen. Like it actually detects gestures and motions from within the projected area. So so they call it Xperia Touch. And it's basically an Android tablet crammed into this little tiny projector, and off as a concept device last year. Yeah.
Yes.
I was at IFA when they showed off the concept of the projector thing, and we
cool.
I did Fruit Ninja. It was surprisingly.
So it's Fruit Ninja.
Yeah, Fruit Ninja.
Because it's basically powered by Android.
Oh, okay, cool. No, because it's a bit hard to hear Android at the moment.
Yeah, so I don't know what's wrong with this mic actually. So I'm just gonna keep continuing because it's actually at MWC last year as well.
Yeah.
But again, it was more of a concept. They're showing it alongside the that Xperia Assistant or something like that, which is like that
The
tiny robot thing that moves around with you.
I don't think we saw that in their live stream. What is that?
Yeah, because basically it's been around for like a year. They're still trying to figure out how to humanize the interaction between robot and humans. So it's not really a retail product yet.
Okay, what is it?
Basically, it's like this tiny robot assistant. Think of it as an R2D2, but like a miniature version. It's got a touch screen in front and cameras to detect your face. So it's more of a face detection rather than a voice detection assistant.
And it's designed to follow you around.
When you call it and it turns around and looks at you, so it's more like they're trying to make it like a really organic interaction. So I don't think they've kind of hit the nail yet. So that's why they're not really pushing it out yet.
Oh, that's cool. So what else was at the Sony booth?
The last thing actually was this really cool idea. So last year they introduced something called an Xperia Ear,
Yeah.
and this year they kind of innovated and iterated on that. And it's called an Xperia Ear open style concept.
This
It
is
looks-
the fancy earphones.
Yes, the fancy earphones. Basically, what I can tell you is that
Fancy
it's
earphones, come on.
yeah, they have fancy earphones, but it's the idea is that you're always wearing it. It's
Okay.
got long battery life. It's the coolest thing about it is that, you know, for normal earphones, it's a closed back. You can't really hear what's outside of it's muffled, right?
Okay.
What this does is that it's basically a ring
All right.
instead of an earpiece.
And does it work as advertised?
It's a concept, so it doesn't even work yet. So
okay, so that's just a mock-up they have there.
it's a mock-up, and it's pretty cool. Like they let us like hold and touch it, but not in the show floor itself. We were allowed like some alone time with it, and I was holding it, and it's like this piece of metal that doesn't move, and I think that it's super uncomfortable, unintuitive in how you put it on, but like to the point where even the PR people didn't actually know how to put it on because it's a concept, and they're like, oh, it's actually the other side. Like I was holding up one piece and I put it on my right ear, and they were like, no, that's the left side. I'm like, oh. And when I asked them how to put it on, they're like, they don't know. They're like we don't actually know how this works. I'm like, okay. Because it's a solid piece. It's not like malleable or anything, because what it is that little, I don't know whether you've seen it before. It's like a tube connected to the earpiece, which is basically just a circular piece of cable or wire, which doesn't move as well. It's not a wire. So what it does?
So
sorry,
you couldn't test whether it actually works. It just sits on your ear.
No. Yeah, it's just an idea.
You're honestly making it sound like you had to do yoga or some sort of stuff like that just to put it on.
Because you can't bend it. Like you can't fold it around your ear.
You can't bend it, so you have to bend yourself to it. That sounds horrible.
It's just tiny thing. But the idea is that the sound is delivered through that little tube onto the earpiece, and because it's open back, you can hear whatever's around you. So you're meant to wear it all the time by voice. When it's connected to your smartphone, so you have like notifications coming in, or if your digital assistant's turned on, like it will tell you need to know.
Oh, that's
without
cool.
interfering with your outside world. Yeah, that's the idea, and I thought it was really kind of smart, and like the way they kind of built it, it's very classic Sony, you know, like it's so outlandish, it's so out of this world, and you know, like it's from another era. It's like all silver metal, and like this thing is completely non-functional because like the design is placed above everything else. So I don't know, I love it. The way they were talking about it, they were like, oh, so passionate about it, and how they were talking about their phones, like the XZ Premium. That was another example of how like over-engineered a device can get.
So this is the XZ Premium.
Yep, correct.
So you had time with your hands on it then?
Yeah, so what I did not know was that on the outside, on the show floors, none of the devices were working, but I had like spent some time, I was able to spend some time with like a working unit with like a pre-release software, because it's not coming in for another like 6 months or something.
Yeah, okay. So, but you've got your hands on it, so what's it like? You're saying that it's over-engineered?
Yeah, it's essentially an Xperia Z5 Premium, like it's a chrome metal mirror finish. It comes in two colors now, so one is like the chrome finish and one is like a glossy black, but it has that reflective finish at the back.
Okay.
Both are extremely fingerprint magnets.
Okay, so what makes this
surprising?
Over-engineered?
So when the guy was telling us about the camera sensor, so like we're not going to go into like the phone itself, because I think the phone itself is kind of a bit.
It's a phone.
Right? And it is what it is. It follows the same Xperia design language. It's really sharp at the edges, and 4K screen, HDR. So like that screen was one of those things that Sony has done before. So what they've added is like HDR support into a 4K screen within a smartphone at a 5.5-inch panel. That's crazy. Because it only works, HDR and 4K only turns on when you open specific apps.
Okay.
But they did show us side by side, and really there is a big difference. Like within the colors and the punchiness of the colors that you see on the HDR screen versus like they showed a Z5 Premium, which is very smart because like it's also a 4K screen, and it doesn't want to. It shows that Sony isn't really trying to put down any competitors here. They're just trying to show the colors, the differences between HDR and non-HDR panel. So I'm gonna go into like the camera, and the guy was like, that's where the guy kind of set up and like started telling, here's the best camera sensor we've done ever. And it goes like, this thing can capture like 960 frames a second. We've got like a triple autofocus layer, and it's like a memory stack. There's memory stacked into the camera sensor itself to allow this 960 frames per second, because it takes up so much buffer space that it needs that amount of storage within the sensor, because it takes up too much time to communicate between the sensor and the processor.
Oh, that really sounds over-engineered. It's like,
Yes.
is this really necessary?
So the effect is kind of crazy, because 960 frames per second, you can only shoot for like, I think at most like less than a second of footage. But because it's 960 frames, you can extend it to up to like 3 to 4 seconds in like standard 30 frames a second.
Sure, but
Yeah.
so what's this for?
So-
Exactly.
So I actually asked them this. I'm like, what do you actually need? Like how, like why, in what situations do you actually want this to work? Like for normal people, and they're like, hand in hand with like the other feature that they have been doing for the camera, which is when you turn on the camera app, the camera is already taking photos before you actually capture, before you actually press the shutter button. So they're saying that for moments where you actually want that perfect shot, or when you have like that moment when you need it, it's there. So for videos, like the UI is really cool. Like the way you thing is when you shoot a video, it replaces that fast motion thing, replaces the shutter button, like the start stop button on the screen.
Okay.
So at any given moment where you want to slow things down, you just press that and it starts recording in 960 frames seamlessly.
Oh, so you can like insert slow-mo portions into any video then?
Yes, with it while you're recording it itself, which is, I think it's kind of cool, because the UI is
really cool.
Yeah, it's really intuitive, and like they showed off some demos and all that, and the effects is dramatic, much better than the 120 frames that we used to see on smartphones today. So I tell you, man, Sony is crazy. In the best way possible.
They are crazy. They've always made good phones with
Exactly.
terrible marketing. That's the saddest part. They don't know how to sell these things.
I think it's so much also that the camera itself isn't. They sound really great on paper, but the end results, the photos aren't 100% like what you would expect from like an iPhone or a Samsung phone.
I see. Well, I seem to recall that the cameras are always great, but the apps have always been letting us down.
Yes, because of the software processing
the software parts. It's always been it lets us out in the end.
Yeah,
which is a bit disappointing with Sony.
Correct. So the irony is that the sensors are great and they're used by other manufacturers in their flagship smartphones.
Yeah, that's a real pity. Andrew, do you have anything to add?
So-
I think you were also at the booth.
Yeah,
See,
but
there's that
Pang has
XC
a
Premium.
much closer look at it. So I
So what
really
did
just
you
spent
see?
time with the mid-range ones, which are, well, I would say even more boring than the flagship, so not much.
Boring.
Yeah,
So it's not an improvement.
I
over the
would
previous
say
design.
though, like, yeah, they had the XA Ultra before, and
Yeah.
they kind of just update the look. I mean, the internals without actually updating the design and all that, right?
Yeah, I think they still look very much the same.
Yeah, they do.
The new XA1 and XA1 Ultra.
Ultra, yeah.
Okay, so that's that for Sony. Do you guys have anything else to
Yes.
add before we move on?
no,
No?
I don't
Alright,
think so.
sure.
I think that's all we need. Yeah.
We have to talk. We really have to talk about the next one. That this is the thing that's the show at MWC. It's the Nokia 3310.
Yeah. I think I've made my feelings very clear in what I wrote.
Yes, you made your things very, very clear, and you're not the only one because there are other
Yeah,
articles.
I'm
coming
quite
out, so-
surprised actually. Yeah,
so-
I'm actually quite surprised because like the sentiment here is that I think you can even ask Andrew, who walked past like a different time than I did. Nokia is like massive, right? Because they incorporated the main Nokia
huge.
network booth. Literally nobody was there, which is not surprising.
fair enough, right?
But they do
Everybody-
have, everybody was at the 3310 booth, and nobody cared about the Nokia Android smartphones. Not as much, to be fair.
There was a massive hype train going into this.
Yeah, I mean, we've already heard of it before, and then when it was announced, I was at the event, and when they announced it, everyone was just like laughing, like ha ha ha, and like the CEO was on stage saying like, this thing has 30-day battery life, 10 times more than our previous generation. I'm like, the hell?
Well, it's
22 hours talk time. You know, it's like he knows that he's talking about feature phone, but
he's making it sound like the next big thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I was watching the live stream. It was brilliant. I loved it.
Yeah, exactly, and we loved it. Everyone was there, was just like smiling, and that was how it was. They were trying to carry this nostalgia into the modern day, and I'll be honest, the phone itself isn't great. You know, for the price point that it's going for,
it doesn't look very great.
No, it doesn't. Like,
honestly, when I say it looks very plasticky, it looks very glossy. It doesn't look like a 3310. It's got it's similar shape, but that's it.
Yeah, it's there, but it's not there. No, not similar buttons, because they added a D-pad and like left and right.
Yeah, the buttons look different.
Design what?
Yeah, the Pebblestone T9 keypad is pretty much the same. And I'll be honest, I played Snake on it, and it was actually the buttons are very tactile and has great feedback.
Okay.
Great feedback. Yeah.
So
no, we have to ask our keyboard connoisseur what it feels like.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to play with it.
Yeah, he didn't. There was just a sea of people. So I'll tell you, like, I'm okay with the keyboard. Like, it's got great tactile feeling. And the Pebblestone buttons aren't too big nor too small, so thumbs up for that one. I could play Snake very well on that.
Yeah. So what's the new Snake like anyway? Is it still the same game?
Oh, it's horrible. It's made by Gameloft and
okay. Yeah, okay. Let's not go into that then. Why Gameloft? It's sold out.
But what they've done is actually they've updated the game, so it's no longer just like a Zen mode, like trying to make it as long as you can. So there's like challenge modes. Yeah, you can like eat apples or avoid obstacles within the game, the area, I guess.
This is over engineering.
Correct.
This is the definition of over.
I think they've made it too complicated. They made it too complicated, and instead of like a single pixel line, it's like if you're on like the apples themselves that you're supposed to eat to make you grow bigger, it's like 2 pixels large. So I don't know. I feel like it takes away a little bit from the joy of playing Snake.
At least you got to play it. You know, they say it's supposed to be on Facebook Messenger. It's not in Malaysia yet.
Yeah, surprisingly, I can play. I can play it, and
Hui has not been able to play it.
Yeah, she's not been able. I tried asking her, and
yeah, I can't play it either. It's horrible.
I'll tell you this though, like Snake on Facebook Messenger is developed by different company, and I will tell you that it is much better on Facebook Messenger than it is on the Nokia 3310.
That is horrible. Okay. That's horrible thing to hear. It's like heresy.
But you know, you can play with a keyboard now, so.
Yeah, I mean, hook up a directional hook up a controller instead.
For Snake, come on.
Yes, I will.
Over engineering.
No, you know I will. So okay, aside from the 3D10, which is we've written a lot about it already. Bang has made his feelings about it very clear. What about the actual Android phones? What are they like? Because these are the things that's going to be pushing Nokia forward.
Correct. Well, I spent quite a lot of time with it. I don't think Andrew has because he was covering the other brands. So the Nokia 6, 5, and 3, they're all pretty decent devices. Like they're all pretty well made. Has kind of nice design. The funny thing is the Nokia 3, which is like the lowest end model of this lot.
Okay.
And I was making this joke when I first held it in my hands and I saw it for myself, and the HMD Global PR guy was with me, and he was from Microsoft and Nokia before that. And I told him, I was like, this body looks so familiar. And I told him that, you know what this phone looks like? The Nokia 3 looks like a Lumia 925. No way. He's like, actually, yes, the frame actually looks pretty much the same as the Nokia Lumia 925.
But they just reused the design.
I don't think so, but if you look at it closely, it has really similar frame, the chassis is the same. I mean, from my point of view, it looks the same, and it has the same feel as well. So very comfortable, rounded edges, and very comfortable to hold in one hand. It's not that big, so like an entry-level device, I think that's quite impressive, like for the build quality.
Well, I honestly loved the 925.
Yeah, I know you used it for like 2 years. I don't know how you did it.
I liked the phone. It was a very sturdy build. It felt nice in my hand. It was the right size, the right shape. That was amazing.
Did the plastic cover come off at one point?
No, it didn't.
I thought it did, and it just snapped it back in.
I think that was Chubb. It's definitely not me.
Right.
Yeah, but it's just a very solid phone. I dropped it a few times. Nothing broke.
Yeah, so this thing has that heft as well, the Nokia 3, 5, and 6. So I've talked about the 3. The 5 is pretty, like it has the aluminum unibody thing that we see very common with the Chinese smartphones these days. So nothing much to say there. The 6, to be fair, like a lot of people, like this thing is made by the same people that does the Chinese smartphones anyway. Like Foxconn is made in China, so like it shouldn't be a surprise.
Yeah, sure. So the 5 and 6, are they about the same? Are they different?
So the 6 is significantly different. The 6 feels immediately more premium because it has the international version has a glossy back cover made, I think it's glass, versus the matte metal finish on the Chinese only version.
I will have to say I'm very disappointed by that because I really like
what I have was the art black version, which has like 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage. So that's a special edition, only available outside of China.
But it's still a glossy glass back.
It is a glossy glass back. It looks really good on from photos, but oh my gosh, like when you start using it, you gotta like black glass, a black glass finish, a glossy black finish means that you see the fingerprints a lot more obviously. So
well,
the Nokia 6, the immediate impression that I got was that it felt a lot like what the Xiaomi Mi 4 was.
all right, that's not so bad. But
Not so bad, but I mean, like I said, like Nokia's design principle is all about like simplicity and durability and like industrial design, right? So all of these designs are actually quite similar to what we've seen before. So
yeah, okay.
I would say the main selling point for all these phones is not about the phones itself, it's in the software. So Nokia has promised that all of its Android smartphones are going to run on pure Android.
Pure Android, yeah. So how does it feel?
They're great. I mean, for all the phones, like I think this not having this customizations and skins anywhere on the Nokia devices, they all have this uniform feel. And the only changes that they made was on the camera UI, which is expected because it's Nokia, right?
Yeah, Nokia and cameras, right?
Nothing much. Other than that, nothing much has been made. Like, and they're promising like the monthly Android security updates because it's pure. It's going to be delivered much faster than most of the other Android makers out there. At the price points that you're talking about, the Nokia 3, 5, and 6, they're all below 1,000 ringgit. I mean, outside. About 1,000 ringgit. I mean, Nokia 6 is more than 1,000. So the 3 and 5 are like low to mid-range devices. They're going to be running on pure Android.
At this rate, they are really in the low end considering the prices.
Yeah. The prices should be about like 500 to 800 ringgit. So they're actually not exactly cheap, but the pull is with the software. It's pure Android. At that price range, you're not going to get a pure Android smartphone anywhere else.
Could be where their strategy is, you know.
Correct. So they've
pure Android for low cost.
Exactly. So it boils down, they keep harping on this in the event as well, saying that, you know, premium design shouldn't be limited to like one device a year, and so should software. Like great software shouldn't be on your high-end devices. It should run across your entire portfolio. So in that sense, like, and I feel like that's where they feel justified to have a slightly higher price point than the rest of the competition. So
that sounds a little contradictory, though. You know,
it is, but
pure Android shouldn't be on high-end devices anyway, but we're going to charge you a little more for it anyway.
Correct. But if you look at the market today, what low-end device has pure Android? Like what device can you say it will run reliably without lagging after like several weeks of use, which is the case with so many of the devices we've seen.
Used to be the Moto G series, but I don't think that's the case anymore.
Oh no, just one question, Nokia. Do you think that these new phones are going to push the company forward? Are they worth it?
It's a start. Like I would say that the 3C10, you know, that it's meant to kind of create this interest, this massive intense interest in the brand once again. Just themselves, they're gonna be shipped out globally because they've inherited Nokia's massive distribution network. Now it's about time to. Now the time is for them to actually start partnerships with telcos across the world again, because that's something that they've never been strong. Nokia has never been strong in that part. So it's a start. Like I think they're pretty smart to kind of distribute these devices globally. Especially it's a pretty price sensitive market, so you may not do very well, but in Europe and in America, I think it's going to be pretty interesting.
Right,
and from there, it's just going to be. I think it's just going to be pretty good from that point onwards. I just hope they start building flagship phones soon.
So do I. Andrew, do you have any thoughts?
I wasn't at Nokia's booth, so I can't say anything.
Yeah, you can see it later today.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. You guys still have time on the floor.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to move on to the next thing. I think we have just enough time for one more topic, which is the new Huawei P10.
Right. So this one I'm going to let Andrew talk.
Yes, this is Andrew's speciality. He knows plenty about Huawei. He's been following the company.
Sure.
Come on, Andrew, give us a lowdown.
So basically, the Huawei P10, like the previous series, there are two devices, the P10 and P10 Plus. But this time around, the P10 Plus actually differs quite a bit from the P10. For one, it has a 2K display. It has a better camera and a much bigger battery. So it's 3,150 milliamp compared to the P10's 3,000. Leica front camera and Leica front camera.
Okay, so what's so special about these this time? I mean, the Leica camera was in the P9, and so what's the difference? What's the big deal?
Okay, so technically the P10's Leica camera is carried forward from the Mate 9. So the P10 has the exact same hardware as the Mate 9, but the P10 Plus has a bigger aperture, f1.8 instead of f2.2, which is, I think it'll be quite beneficial to the camera performance. And honestly, that's really about it. I mean, aside from the portrait mode, which we know from which company.
But in this case, the P10 seems to have the same internals as the Mate 9, or relatively similar.
Relatively similar. I mean, because it's a smaller device, it has a smaller battery, but both are still powered by the Kirin 960 processor, so it's okay.
Yeah. When we supposed to see the Kirin 965 at some point?
Oh well, that's just rumor. So they also mentioned of it during the launch event. So that's only still the realm of rumors. There's no indication that this is coming soon. I don't think it's in existence yet, as far as we know.
You haven't heard anything from Huawei itself then?
No, because they were really pushing the Leica front camera, Leica back camera, things like that. So
okay, so you have time hands-on with the camera, with the phone itself.
Mm-hmm. Actually, we have the P10 right now.
Okay, cool. So tell us about it.
I really don't. It's not as exciting as I thought it would be. It's just more of a incremental upgrade, if you ask me.
So it's same processor, same-ish RAM, slightly less battery power. Yeah.
I mean, design is not different from any other brands, because I mean, honestly, from the back it looks like an iPhone, and the front looks like every other Chinese phones on the market.
So here's the question I have. Here's the question I have. So, if the P10 isn't so different from the Mate 9, how is Huawei expecting to sell it? What's the big draw? This is MWC. So what's the big deal with the P10? How does Huawei expect to market and sell this besides the Leica front camera? Because really, is that it?
Personally, for me, I think P10 Plus is the more interesting device because of the bigger aperture. Because when I was using the P9 and Mate 9, I was really hoping that Huawei would put in a bigger aperture camera, and they did just that for the P10 Plus. So I'm excited to try that out. Not so much the P10 because it's probably similar to the Mate 9 in terms of camera performance, but yeah.
So have you compared them yet to each other? I mean, you only have the P10 now. You don't have the P10 Plus.
Yeah, so I was a bit bummed by that. But well.
Okay,
yeah.
so have you had hands-on time with the P10 Plus?
Yeah, but I mean, in a lot of ways, it's feels like a bigger P10 because in the experiential zone, it's not really an excellent place to try a camera. But as far as I can tell, it seems better, but I can't say for sure.
So, but better in what way?
The camera, because of the big aperture.
Yes, better in what way? Okay, so does it give you better field of depth? Is it noticeable?
Honestly, I can't tell. It was crazy. Like we were in a rush. We were jumping from one event to another. But I think it has promise. But yeah, that's all I really can say. Unfortunately.
So does the Leica front camera actually make a difference? Since you've got the P10 on you.
I don't know. I mean,
Come on, man! You've got it on you. How are you not using it already?
It's a front camera. I don't take selfies that much.
Oh, really? You have a Facebook profile that proves otherwise.
No, that wasn't a selfie. Anyway, so the unique thing about this is Huawei calls it self-portrait because not only does the back camera has a portrait mode, even the front-facing camera has one. And from my testing, it seems to separate the foreground and background quite effectively. So it really brings into focus whatever subject that I'm taking. So, I mean, if you like selfies, I think it's promising.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, to be honest,
I won't do anything.
Yeah, okay. To be honest, I only have one question about the Huawei presentation. So I don't think our listeners have watched it. Our listeners probably haven't watched it, but they should. I believe it's uploaded to YouTube. So you go there. How did it feel to be trapped in a 12-minute presentation about color?
Honestly, I was struggling to connect to the internet, so it was fine for me. I was like, keep talking.
So you weren't paying attention.
I was like, come on, it's about colors. I don't want to know about how green is green and how blue is blue.
Yeah, but green is a great color. I mean, green represents a lot of things. It's trees. It's different. It's not different.
I'm at
it's otherworldly. Andrew, could you repeat that? We couldn't hear you.
I mean, we were at a phone launch, and then here we are about someone talking about colors. I mean, come on. I want to know about the phone, what processor is running, what's the camera, things like that. Not the color of it. Come on.
Well, speaking of colors, though, Huawei did do something very interesting. They've introduced a color that's rarely seen on flagship smartphones. And
yes, surprisingly.
Green. So
I was hoping to get a green, but well, we didn't get it.
Yeah, so we've only seen the renders. Have you seen it in real life?
Yeah, it's actually pretty nice. And I hate green.
Okay, so does it look like the renders? Is the green slightly darker? Is it brighter? Because you have my attention with a green phone.
It's really more of a matte finish, so it's not too bright. It's actually, okay, imagine rose gold, but in green. It's something like that.
That doesn't tell me anything.
Okay, fine. I mean, it's quite classy, if I were to give it a description.
Classy green.
And I wouldn't mind using it. Honestly, I wouldn't mind using it.
Yeah, it's just such a pity they didn't pass us that one for the review.
Yeah. So, it was more of a random draw, unfortunately.
There's the other color that they spent a ridiculous amount of time on. That's the blue.
Blue.
Yeah.
So what unique about the blue was it has a new, what do they call this? Something hyper diamond cut finishing or something like that. And okay, you know those pictures that changes how it looks like when you view it from a different angle?
Yes.
It feels like that. It doesn't feel premium and it's like scratchy. I don't like it.
Oh, okay. So
I'm gonna add in like for that hyper diamond cut thing. The texture is a bit like a nail file.
Yeah.
It's
Only
really
it's
that
not
rough?
rough. No, it's not rough. It feels like a nail file, but it's not rough.
Okay.
So it feels kind of smooth. So the impression that I got when I held that phone in my hand yesterday was that I thought my palms were sweaty because it was kind of grippy, but also kind of slippery at the same time. I don't know how to describe that feeling.
That
It made my
most
hand.
confusing
It
thing
made my
I've ever
hand.
heard.
Yeah, exactly. Because it made my hand feel like it was sweating when it wasn't.
Oh, that sounds that sounds awful, really.
Like I would have liked.
Looks okay, but yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, Pang, what did you think of the green?
I didn't see it. I couldn't find it at the show floor. So I was only able to see what they show on the show floor. But like again, like I was only able to see the. Was that a gold color?
The gold.
Yeah, the gold and the blue share
Yeah.
the same finishing.
Oh
Yeah.
god.
So I didn't get to see the blue or the green. So I saw the gold,
Okay.
and I was like, oh, hyper diamond cut, right? I was like trying it out. I thought it'd be pretty cool because like, problem with glass bags is that it's a bit slippery or it can be fingerprint magnets. So this thing kind of negates the fingerprint catching part.
Okay.
But I don't know, it just feels more slippery to me. I don't know why.
I suppose it's because it's giving the oil somewhere to run off to, I guess.
Maybe,
I don't know.
but you
One
think
of
like
you
a
needs to
textured
track
finish
down-
would be a bit more rough.
Yeah, one of you needs to track down Huawei and figure this out because this might be some strange new material they've discovered.
I think it's just in the finish that they did with the device.
It's like
Oh, that's cool.
dots
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, I mean either way, we're gonna be able to see it again. It's coming to Malaysia like next week, so
Next week.
So
yeah.
Is it
From what we
next week?
understand, there will be a media preview next week. Some of
Okay.
the publications have already run the story, so it's happening next week. We don't know the launch. We don't know the release date yet, so we're gonna
Yeah.
see it for ourselves.
But if there's a media preview, that means the release date's very near.
Yes,
And we're part of the first wave of the release too, aren't we?
correct.
Yep. It's quite.
Yeah. So,
I mean, when I saw Malaysia on stage, I was like, nice.
yeah. Are we really that big a market for Huawei?
Actually, surprisingly so. Yeah.
Ah,
Yes, very much.
I did not expect that.
I think the
But,
Huawei P9 was the catalyst for all of this.
It's good to know that we're recognized and we're first for something for a change. Yeah. Looking at all the other manufacturers, look at us. We're here. We will buy your stuff.
Yep, we will.
Yeah. So I think we're coming to an end for this. Do you guys have anything else to add about MWC?
Nah.
So far, actually, it hasn't been as exciting as I think previous years. I think one of the things that the fact that Samsung wasn't around to show off its new smartphone was it actually allowed all these other companies to take advantage of it. Always trying to do that, but no other company was actually there to just seize the moment. Like the world's attention is here for you, and
Well, I
It's
think
not really
Nokia kind of achieved it with the 3310. Just
yeah, which
riding on the
I mean-
nostalgia, but that's about it.
correct. Exactly. Isn't as I don't know. I just felt a little bit underwhelmed by the products that we saw today. I think we had this conversation just now that what was the most exciting phone for us today? What was the best smartphone we saw today? And I mean at MWC, and
It was
Andrew was Andrew was saying that it's a G6, LG G6, right? And I thought it was.
Sorry,
I
Andrew.
thought
we
it was
can't
really
hear you.
boring phone.
Andrew, we really
Yeah, I don't
can't
know, Andrew.
Yeah, but
Sorry?
really, the LG G6.
Yeah, so he said it's a G6, and I told him like,
I mean, it's the one that's not. It's the least boring one, I would say.
yeah. So the fact that he's saying that, it kind of just shows you the standard of what we're putting the other phones here as a comparison.
Well, that's a real pity because MWC is the stage to be at this point.
Yeah,
It's-
traditionally that should have been the case.
Especially, Samsung's not around. Someone's got to step up.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
but 12-minute color presentation. Maybe that was it.
Although to be fair, I think they were more concerned with a lot of the higher level of mobile technology. So they were pushing a lot about 5G and
yeah, I heard that.
the
Oppo has
IoT
their
integrations. Yeah,
Oppo with
so
their camera. Interesting.
exactly. Yeah, the Oppo camera as well. I think that's really, really smart. So they're more talking more about like the minor features that will make for a greater device later on.
So this is setting the stage for 2017.
2018. Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
Oh wow,
2018.
28.
Really that far off? We're really that far off from that? Oh, it's going to be a very
Which is normally the
disappointing
case anyway for MWC. They actually have a exhibition or a show floor dedicated for things that we will see 4 years from now. The exhibition, that place is actually called.
year. 4 years from now.
Yeah.
Have you had time to run into that yet?
It's always in a separate area from the show floor, so it's actually like a train ride away and all that. So they're mostly talking about like apps and like things that are not more of a consumer level.
I see. Oh,
Yeah.
well. Okay, so I guess that's it for us at MWC. You guys still have things to look out for because this is not the last day you're on the show floor.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think I'm gonna take a look at the Porsche design, Surface Book lookalike. I hope that we'll be able to see it. Other than that, like we've seen like I want to take a closer look at Oppo's camera actually.
Andrew, what are you looking at next?
I'll be heading to Qualcomm's booth for the Zenfone AR.
That's not new.
Yeah, Qualcomm has actually a lot of pretty interesting stuff.
Okay, so we will be waiting to hear from you guys when you get back then. I suppose there's still more stories to be written.
All right, yeah,
A lot
definitely.
more.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So thanks for calling back, and we will be back with
Catch
this
you guys back
podcast
home.
next week. All right, I'll see you guys then.
Bye.
Bye.